Hey everyone, it's Jen Carlson, your senior leader on Team Believe, and I wanted to welcome you to call number 2 of our series, of our training series. So I know that now that you've got your parties booked, you're excited and you're ready to go. So what's next? What are we going to learn next? Today's session is going to be all about inviting people. So really, this is the time that we're going to want to start inviting and get people excited about the business. So I'm going to walk through the steps of what you should do as a consultant to get everybody invited to your party. So I really, like I said in the last call, you guys, you want to invite people in 3 different ways. Now I always manage the invite process because I know that it's getting done, and I know that I'm able to show people before and after pictures and get them excited. So I would highly recommend that you do the same and that you take that process in your hands and start doing that yourself. So here's a couple of the different vehicles that I use for inviting people. So Facebook is probably my number one. What I do is I create a private event for the host, and I put in the wording and everything, and then I add them as a host. And then what I do is I post different before and after pictures, I post links, I post videos, just a bunch of different information for them to start understanding what Norwex is. And it's a great way to get feedback from your host because she's going to be excited, so she's going to be posting. And you can also ask your host to start posting their own before and after pictures, and it's super fun to kind of watch that come in. So I would definitely use Facebook as an option. Now, the second thing is Evite. Evite's another great option if somebody doesn't have Facebook. So what I do is I have them send me their email addresses, and then I send out the Evite for them. And I've got the documentation that I can email it out to you. So you've got the same stuff, you guys. I don't want you to have to recreate anything. I want to make it as streamlined as possible and easy for you to use. So feel free to copy everything that I'm giving to you. If you want to change it, great, but just know that you don't have to do that. So what I find is that those 2 ways are awesome ways to invite people and kind of get the mass communication out. But you guys, that's not what's going to get people to your parties. What's going to get people to your parties is you personally inviting them through text message, through a phone call, through seeing them in person. All right, people love to be personally invited, and so that honestly is the best way that I found for you to have a great turnout at your party. So I use what's called Red Stamp, and what it is, it's an online, it's an app, or you can go on it on your computer. It's called Red Stamp, REDSTAMP, and what it does is it makes these cute little text messages, and I love the text messages because it's what I do is I make a save the date one. It's going to say save the date, the information for the party, and it's going to say a little blurb about Norwex. So I love that, and I'm going to send you a couple of my examples that I use that I create, and also the directions. So be on the lookout for that. But Red Stamp is the best way, I think, for people because you create it, you send it to the host, they can text it out to everybody. So it's an awesome way to get the word out that way. Now, emailing, you guys, I also create a heart invitation that it just says I'm having a Norwex party. It's got all the information below. Again, you can send that out to anybody that is interested in getting the word out through an email, or they can also take it, print it out, and hand it out to people, their neighbors. Let's say they don't have information for their neighbors, they can take this out and give it to them. So that works great. So that's really the main ways that you are going to start inviting people. And so, think about what's going to work best for you, but I would highly recommend to do at least 3 different forms of inviting people. So you guys, I want you to look at your calendar and start shadowing a person on your team. So you can either come to one of my parties and shadow my parties. You can also watch the video link because I think that's a really good way to see what I'm doing at the parties. And you guys, when you're new, just copy word for word what I'm saying, and your own style and your own flavor is going to come. So really, use the tools that I do because I use the same presentation at every single party essentially because I know what works. So make sure to schedule a time to come and shadow me, or schedule a time to shadow your upline because I think that's going to be really beneficial. You also are going to want to order supplies. So I've got a list created of all the supplies that I recommend, so I'll email that out to you. and look over in your back office and start looking at the Hostess plan. So you want to be aware of how the Hostess rewards work. Norwex is a very, very lucrative Hostess plan, so make sure to look at that, and then also look to see where the customer specials are. And really, you guys, be an expert in that hosting plan, because it is such a good way for people to get free stuff. It's unbelievable. So just make sure that you know what you're talking about. Another thing that you guys should do is in your back office, you're going to want to set up your bank account. So you're going to put in your routing information, and that way you can go ahead and get everything. When people pay with credit card, that is going to be able to get directly deposited into your account. So that's a really fantastic way to get paid. Now, on that Succeed and Shine website that I was talking about for Chris's podcast, you guys, pop into your account and listen to podcast number 3 about strong starting. And then also there's a great podcast about Hostess coaching, and I want you to listen to the Hostess coaching podcast as well on her podcast. So good luck with the invitation process. I know you guys are going to do awesome, and people are going to be so excited to come to your party. So just let me know if you have questions. Thanks, guys.